1966 was a season of revelation for the white man in the North. For the first time, he began fully to comprehend the intensity of his feelings and his fears about the black man. For years, he had watched, smug and fascinated, as the trials of the Southern black and white were played out for him like some morality play on his television screen. But he remained a spectator, only half involved. Then came summer 1966. And as riots crackled through his cities, the northern white man came to realize the depth of his confusion, his animosity, and fear. Black power was the catalyst, a phrase shouted by a 25-year-old revolutionary on a Mississippi highway. It was a rallying cry to northern blacks mired in frustration and bitterness, a cry that sounded like a threat of violence, of vengeance, to a white man fed up with racial turmoil.
Rock fist on the track, man.
I want to talk to black people across this country. We have to move to a position where we can feel strength and unity amongst each other from Watch to Harlem, where we won't never be afraid.
Back in 66, Willie Mukasa Ricks and young Stokely Carmichael had to clench fists. Yup, Mississippi and Alabama days. Black fists was in the air like camera rays. Human rights we wanted, it still needed to. The book I'm reading through is Lowe's County Freedom Crew. The farm workers, the cotton pickers, the field niggas who subjugated the small stuff to build bigger.
Peace. Black power and refinement. When we come together, or PAN, this is black power. Now, when we begin to clean up the mess that has been made out of our minds, this is the refinement. Now, refinement meaning to make something better, to advance, to elevate. Now, we know and understand that this is not a process that mysteriously happens. This is a process which begins when information and inspiration comes into contact with the disconnected components. This is a process called remembering, meaning to reassemble, or the reassembling of the black mind. And from this union of inspiration and information, an explosion of life begins. This is when the student begins to what? See their power. Okay, so we say the roar of the panther, which manifests itself in knowledge, is light. In other words, you hear Ra, the sun, speaking to you through light. You do not hear it with your physical ear, you hear it with the mind in the ear of the mind. Okay? This is Ra. This is your mental capacity, your ability to reason, to read, to remember, to recognize your resources, to regulate, to respect. But respect what? Respect the rule that everything must go from knowledge to born in order to be. To be what? To be the G. It's also our references. Also represents the color red. So this means all of these divine natural attributes are within our blood. And we know, of course, sun, heat, is hydrogen, which is the first element in the periodic table. So how did this get in our blood? Wow. Did it just pop up? Did it just make its way in there on its own? You say, Ra so loved the world, your father, my father, our father, that he gave all of his children their own inner light. And whosoever will use this light to go within will never go without. This is the quality of Ra. Ra is the black father who dresses his children in thick, black, melanated panther skin. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. Now, ironically, 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. The 18th letter is R. This is the one who possesses the knowledge to build, to born oneself into existence, using the light, using the intelligence that exists from within. This is Ra, the unlimited, illuminated quality of the mind when it comes into contact with knowledge and begins to build. This is the reality of learning to learn. The 6 principles of learning: being silence, listening, remembering, understanding, judgment, and action. There's a teacher in you, there's a student within you. When the student is ready, the teacher shall appear. This teacher represents the reasoning, the rules that regulates a revolutionary's actions, R and A. So that every time we think a powerful thought, this is the roar, Ra, of the panther. You cannot hear it with your physical ear. Only the mind can detect it. Only another mind can detect the roar of Ra, which are the thoughts of the panther. Also, when you complete that thought, taking that thought from knowledge to build it, to destroy the parts which are unnecessary, and then coming all the way to born in order to what? Be. Be means to exist, to live, to be alive, to bring something from the mental perspective into the physical perspective and materialize it. And what we are materializing is the black body. Not just any black body. The black body of Bastet. Now, when we go back into Antiquity, we see that Bastet represents the Black Panther. Bastet is the daughter of Ra, Ra's oldest daughter. She's responsible for protecting the knowledge, shielding the knowledge, making sure that knowledge is not misused or abused, making sure that the children are not confused by the knowledge that has been misused or abused. So we say that Bastet is the protector of the home, the protector of the women, the children, the family. It is these qualities, these key qualities of Bastet, blackness and its beauty, which are the keys, granting us entrance into the house of wisdom, Bastet, which challenges our persistence to go the full distance and continue to grow. Now, green is the land, and the money in hand and the plan, the man with the plan to make it expand. This is the reality of Geb, the agriculturalist, who not only grows plants, but also grows minds, grows and cultivates character. He grows and cultivates his wealth so that he can grow and cultivate his family, his community, and his nation. Muhammad Ali, an earth sign, like Geb, meaning that, he was down to earth. He went from the Geb, the earth, to the gold, then to the God. Now, Muhammad Ali said, the fight is won or lost away from the witnesses, far behind the lines, in the gym, and out there on the road, long before I dance under those lights. So G represents the grind that gets you to the green, to the gold, and makes you the God. That's the Geb in us. They say, get it out the mud. Ain't that what they say? Muslims, read in the Quran, chapter 2, verse 30, it says, Khalifa, aka Adam, was made from black sounding clay. That's Geb. That's your common sense. That's the original man who comes from the earth. Now, as we move through this earth and we dig into this earth, your inner riches, this is where you find your gold. This is your highest quality. That which we must dig and mine for the excellent quality. We say equality, that E stands for excellent, the excellent quality. That's your goal. They said once upon a time, they told us we could receive more gold by coming to America, but we never received that gold. And they also lied to us and told us about a false God that we would meet when we came to America, but we never met that God. I'm here to tell you that gold is within yourself, that God is within yourself. And this is the highest level of what we call the R.B.G. Within you, within me, within we.